So this morning's lecture, I want to cover a few things. One of them is going to be method arguments that are defaults. I want to talk about method chaining. And finally, we're going to talk about object orientation. The first two should take like 2 minutes. All right, so I'm going to go back out to, I'm inside the trash. I'm going to create a folder using mkdir, and I'll use this class examples for right now. CD into class examples, open everything up in Sublime. I got 2 windows because I'm not doing anything inside the browser. First things first, I want to talk about passing in default parameters real quick. So I'm going to do example.js, put this in the right place. You can kind of see if I were just to do touch, it would have been faster than finding the right folder and things like that. And I'm going to do example.rb. So the first thing I want to talk about is method arguments that are defaults. So let's say we have a very, very easy thing. So let's just say that we said I wanted to create a function that adds 2 numbers together. Very, very simple. Using my ES6 fat arrow notation, I'm going to create a constant called sum of numbers. It's going to take in probably 2 different arguments. So number 1, I'll just call this num1, and then num2. And then I'm just going to do console.log num1 plus num2. Very, very simple. Sum of numbers takes in 2 arguments, just console log those 2 together. So when I call sum of numbers with 1 and 2, I should get 3. Let's find out just to make sure that we do get 3. So I'm going to list out everything, run node example.js, and I do get 3 here on the left-hand side. So the question now becomes, like, if somebody forgets to put in an answer, like forgets to provide us with something, we should always default to it. Because if let's say we did just sum of 1 right now, this would blow up because it's expecting 2 different arguments and you're only providing it 1 of them. So when I run node example.js, it gives me NAF, which stands for not a number. So something blew up because it said, I was expecting you to pass me something else, but I didn't get anything else, and now I'm unable to really return anything out to you. So in the case that you forget to pass something, so you can basically say, I want to give a default argument. So a default argument is if nothing is in its place, I can set it equal to something. So in the case that this user does not pass me a second argument, like with this over here, I'm going to default to 0. This should be a review for everyone, right? Okay. So when I run this right now, what's my result? What should I get? Just 1. Because I'm not passing something else, it's going to automatically default to 2. Pretty simple. If I were to do this exact same thing inside of Ruby, it looks a little something like this. Def sum of numbers takes in num1, and then num2 equals 0. These 2 things are identical. Let's just run Ruby just for my own sake. Example.rb, and nothing shows. Take it. It's because I have to call it sum of numbers, 1, and nothing else. And 1. Cool. Yes?
Isn't the distinction in Ruby that you have to, the very last arguments are the ones that pick at them? Like, if you're going to do it in Ruby, you have to make sure it's that last argument or last argument.
I do believe it's both languages. So the question was, if you do, like, if you don't, isn't it the second one that's always going to be the default argument? I think that due to the fact, I think it works in both of them that same way. But due to the fact that this is the first, like there are 2 arguments, I can't default the first one because whatever I pass in is going to be seen as the first argument.
You can default both of them.
Okay. Oh, I know you can default both. Yeah. But
you just say you have to start from back.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Can I just articulate this out loud?
Yep.
So you're setting variable constant and you have two arguments in there, one of those is defaulted to 0, and you're printing out the addition of both arguments, but because the result of those two arguments is 1, it knows that num1 is essentially 1 because number 2 is defaulted to 0.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I pass in, maybe unless I misunderstood. So if I pass in 5 right over here, I'm passing in 5 and no second argument,
Right.
correct? So when I pass in 5, that's saved as num1.
Right.
Because I didn't pass in anything for num2, you can kind of see I only passed in one thing. This is defaulted to 0.
Right.
So then I'm just going to console log that num1, which is 5, plus 0, and then it's just going to return me 5. Just to verify, node example.js, and that equals 5. Sean?
Can you try the default in the other one in JavaScript to see if it works?
Sure.
Like,
Like this?
Yeah, but get rid of the second one. You want to point?
Oh, okay. Let's
I think
see.
it will.
Maybe. So let's try it this way. So if I don't pass anything as number 1,
Right.
it'll default to 3. And if I pass in, so you expect this to be 8, right, Sean?
I think it'd be 5.
Not a number.
All right.
And that's because it's due to the fact that when you pass it in, the order matters. So if I, so
Somehow
this one
it
always
lowers
gets,
it. Yeah.
no.
Is there a placeholder you could use to make that the first number and then make 5 the second number?
Nope.
I mean, you can give them all default, right?
But you won't. All right. All right. So that's a quick thing about method defaults, like a parameter defaults. In case that somebody doesn't provide something, you can always hard code it to something else. It's kind of like this. This might be useful in. You'll see this a lot. I'm not going to give a real life example. Another thing I wanted to cover was this concept of method chaining. So you can kind of see what we've like, even in the previous example, we did .to lowercase and then .replace. That's called method chaining when I have multiple methods on one original thing. This works both in JavaScript and in Ruby. So let's say that we have an array of A, B, and C. I can shuffle this. Guess what shuffle is?
Mixing them up.
I'm just going to mix them up. But I can also chain additional methods onto the end of this one so I can have everything in one line rather than in multiple lines. .pop, .upcase. So this is like an example that I have. So this is an example of method chaining. I'm chaining on different methods to the end of other methods so that the result will look a little bit different. So let's kind of read through this. We have an array to start with. And the first thing it does is .shuffle. Like we said, it just mixes everything up. And then we do .pop. What is .pop?
Removes the last one.
Yep, it removes the last one and returns the last one.
Okay.
And then .upcase. Tristan.
No, I got it.
No, what is .upcase?
Oh, it makes everything uppercase.
Okay, so what is the result? What would the result be of this?
Pop removes and returns. Well, it depends on what order they're shuffled in. But assuming they get shuffled where B is the last one in the array, then that would be removed and made uppercase.
Yep. So your result would be
returned and made uppercase.
2 elements uppercase.
Yep. So in the case of Tristan's example, it would just be an uppercase B. Yeah.
Is the sequence of that method chaining significant as far as like would it pop like in this case B before it makes it uppercase or no?
So that's a great question. So the question was, is the order of the method chaining important? It is the most important thing.
Okay.
Because it executes in order. It won't go like the upcase, the shuffle, the pop. It goes in the order that you provide it
From which direction?
from the left. Yeah.
So this would actually it would pop the B before it makes it would be a lowercase b.
Yes. So when it popped it at this particular point, so let's say we shuffled it. The first time through, it would look a little something like this. Maybe let's say B, C, A. Let's just say that it's going to be random, so it's going to change every single time. The next thing, I'm going to .pop, so I get the A off the back, and then I'm going to uppercase that, so my final result would be this A. It goes in order. John?
In a world where, like, say you write a ton of good functions,
Mm-hmm.
can you just method chain them together when you need to call upon it?
Mhm.
Whatever answer they want?
Yep.
Would we call that functional programming?
Yes. Yeah. You can consider that functional programming. Tristan?
Just like a real quick aesthetic difference. The method chaining in JavaScript, you do have to activate it with the open close parentheses, correct?
Yes. Yeah. And remember, it's JavaScript and not Java.
All right. Yeah,
just because you don't want to get caught in that during an interview. So that's why we're going to jump on it real quick here. Because Java and JavaScript are very, very different. They have the same prefix, but it's like saying car or carpet are the same thing.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Yep. So the equivalent of this, I think, is almost the same thing. So if we have A, B, and C, I don't know how to shuffle in JavaScript. Let's look it up. Does anybody know off the top of their head before I start looking things up?
I didn't even know if there was a shuffle method, but I know how you do it.
Yeah, there might not be a shuffle inside of JavaScript. I don't know. How can I shuffle arrays? Oh no, it doesn't look like there's a built-in shuffle. That's okay. But yeah, to go back to your example, to your question, Tristan, yes. If in the case that you ever need to invoke something, then you would need to call it on there. Yeah.
Excuse me, John. You know how a moment ago, I don't know, you pressed down or up, and there was just that whole menu of, I guess, default. What are those methods? Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
IntelliSense? Is that what happened?
This thing?
Well, yeah, but it was even down on you were just on line 9 and you.
It was like the autocomplete.
Yeah, the autocomplete.
Yeah.
Is that so? I know sometimes that's populated with things you already have on
Yeah.
the input on the screen, but it seems like sometimes there's also built-in library or something it's referring to, right? Or
So these are built-in keywords.
okay.
Yeah. So anything that starts with an A that's a built-in keyword that you may or may not want to use, they'll try to autofill it for you.
Okay, so that's a good way to find out. Like, oh, is there a shuffle thing? Let me just start typing shuffle.
Yeah, but there's no shuffle.
No,
Because it's-
got it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. So we're going to switch over. So we talked about method defaults. We talked about method chaining. And the main thing I wanted to point out with method chaining is this whole, like before I get to the pop and the upcase, this whole thing needs to evaluate. And you need to know what the result of this dot shuffle is going to be before you get to the pop. Before you can do dot upcase, these two other methods have to execute first. So you will start reading this from left to right. So these won't execute out of order. You just have to make sure that you're reading from left to right. Every single thing is going to execute before it reaches the next thing. Sean?
Is there, just for like, this is something that really pisses me off about method chaining, right? Is that you can go on forever, right?
Mhm.
Is there a way to clean that up in a way that's more readable aside from having, your lines returned?
So the question was, let's say that we have like 50
Yeah.
methods that we're chaining and it's impossible to read. You should never be method chaining 50 things. By that point, you should have other variables that maybe I would have uppercased letter is equal to this, and then I'll use uppercase letter in a separate thing. Is there a better way to do that? You have to chain them all together, so it has to all be on one line. So there's no better way to do it other than it should not be done. Tristan.
Oh, this might be a silly question. So because the sequence of the method chaining, you're saying for just in this particular method chain, when it's popping, in our case it was A. Would that return the lowercase a because it's performing that return before the upper?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Good.
Is upcase a array method?
Upcase is a string method.
And it's valid because what was returned from pop is a string.
Exactly. That's a great point to bring up. So upcase is a string method, and the reason that this works right here is because the result of dot pop is the last element of the array, which is a string. I can't do dot upcase on an entire array, because we can try it. So it's just like, let's say that it's like A and B. Let's say that A equals underscore. So when you do A equals underscore, A equals whatever the result is of the line above. So when I just do A dot upcase, it's going to blow up. It says there's no upcase for this particular thing, this particular data structure called an array. But since I dot popped something that was a string that you could call dot upcase on it, that's why it works.
Okay.
John?
You pretty much answered my question. Although, so if you call a array method on a string, would that
convert it to an array for you, or would it just blow up?
What if I called an array method on a string? Would that work?
Probably not.
I mean, it's, for some of them are copied over. So if I did like a dot first, I get like this. A is this array, and when I call dot first on it, it returns the letter A because that's the first thing of this particular array. I'm pretty sure if I do ABC dot first, maybe not. I'm not. Nope, there's no dot first for a string. I thought there might be, but I guess not.